Okay, welcome. What I'm going to do here in this video is explain how to fix the problem, usually on Macs, when you launch Gorilla, and instead of Gorilla launching, you get an error or at least a screen that shows you that FileMaker is trying to launch and Gorilla doesn't launch. This is a permissions issue. When you install Gorilla for the very first time, it will ask you if you will allow access to documents, to the documents folder. You must say yes. If you say no, this is one of the problems that will happen, and I will show you how to fix it. So for example, if I'm in my Mac here, I go to Applications, I double click the Gorilla application, and notice that it launches FileMaker instead of Gorilla. And these are actually some of the Gorilla files. You might see these, but even though if you click on this, it will probably launch. This is not how to fix it, so I'm going to show you how to fix it. But FileMaker is the back end to Gorilla, so you're halfway there. But again, it's not launching because your Mac is not allowing access to documents, and I'm going to show you that right now. So if I close that, or let's actually quit FileMaker, and of course in Applications you'll see the Gorilla icon. This is the application file. And if you go to Documents, here I have Gorilla 8 and Gorilla 7. We are now using Gorilla 8. If you click on Gorilla 8, you're going to see all the Gorilla 8 files. Now the problem is that your Macintosh is probably not allowing access to documents from the Gorilla application. So let's fix that. We go to Apple menu, go to System Settings, and we're going to scroll down to Privacy and Security right here. Now we're going to select on Files and Folders. All right. Now in here, should see all the applications that have launched on your machine, and one of which is going to be Gorilla, or it might actually say FileMaker, which is fine. You will select FileMaker if it says FileMaker. But if it says Gorilla, you want to open that up, and notice that under the Documents section right here, this is not allowing access. So it says here, allow the applications below to access files and folders. So if I were to move Gorilla from the Documents folder right now to the Desktop folder and launch it, it would launch. Okay, but we want to launch it from Documents because that's the proper way to do it. So if I go ahead and highlight that, I'm going to go ahead and type in my password here. You have to do that. Notice it changes to on. We're going to go ahead and close that. Now, if we go to, and we could launch from here, from the Documents, but I'm going to go to Applications because that's what we did first, and double click the Gorilla application here from the application folder, and notice that it launches. Okay, and that's all because of security and privacy, because your Mac did not allow the launch. So let's go ahead and quit this real quick and try it again, but this time let's do it from Documents. We're going to go here to Gorilla 8 and go here to Launch Gorilla and double click it, and let's see what happens. And Gorilla 8 launches just fine. And we're going to make sure we get in, and there we go. Another thing that you might want to look at is if you have, now I'm going to hide Gorilla here. If you have Gorilla 7 and 8 on your machine, if you have both of them, by default it will launch Gorilla 8 most likely. But if you wanted, for example, to go to Gorilla 7, if I were to click here on Gorilla, launch Gorilla here, it would not launch Gorilla 7. It would still launch Gorilla 8. So I'm going to show you real quick in this video how to do that. Under Extras, you click on Admin Options, Access, and then FileMaker Init Setup right here. And right here, this is going to ask you select which version of Gorilla you want to launch upon startup. Now I'm using Gorilla 8, which is what I want to use. So Gorilla 8 and 0.04, you could put in the exact point here. So if you have 8.05 or 8.06 or whatever. But if I wanted Gorilla 7 to launch, and I'm going to hide Gorilla real quick just to see what version we have. Now this is 7.15, as you can see. So if I go back in here and I select that, there we go. And now that I selected Gorilla 7, notice that it's 7.15 will launch. So if I were to launch Gorilla now from applications, it would launch 7.15. But I want 8.14 or 8.04 to launch. Click on Set Preference, and which is fine. We really didn't change anything. We just left it the way it was. But I'll try it one more time. And even if I launch here from Gorilla 7, it will launch 8.04 because that's the setup that we specified in the FileMaker setup. Okay, so that's how you fix those. Those are two issues here. It's a 2-for-1. How you fix the FileMaker launching instead of Gorilla. Make sure that in System Settings, you go to Privacy and Security and make sure that under Files and Folders, the Gorilla application is allowed access to documents. Okay, and the second thing is if you wanted an earlier version or a different version of Gorilla to launch, you want to go into the FileMaker init setup under the Extras pull-down menu and set preference for that. All right, hopefully that will help you out. Thanks very much.